Don't forget to like and subscribe to follow good stories. After a while of galloping, the two finally arrived at City, the place Adele would be staying for the entire social season. Before her, a gilded gate opened to reveal an incredibly luxurious resort named Stan. As the horse approached, a woman recognized them. "Oh, they've arrived." Cesare followed her gaze and looked toward Adele, visibly surprised. "Lady Lucia, is that you? May the goddess bless you." Lucrezia offered a polite smile and returned the greeting. "May the goddess bless you too, Lady Adele. I've been waiting for you. Look over there, there's a small path. Some of the other ladies and I are planning a walk. Would you like to join us?" Lucia's smile was the epitome of insincerity. "I've already gotten the Duke's permission," she added. Cesare cast a look toward the two women across from him. His golden eyes locked onto the awkward scene before him, and a wave of irritation stirred inside. "Ipon will explain everything to you in detail later," Lucia added before turning her horse. "Just leave your horse here. I'll meet you at Santa Lucia Square in half an hour." Their interaction left Adele taken aback. The social season was starting earlier than she'd expected. Later, while brushing Adele's hair, her maid Ipon explained everything to her in detail. The grand opening of the social season had finally arrived. And now that Adele had officially made her debut into high society, she had no choice but to dive headfirst into the whirlpool of gatherings, tea parties, and the dazzling and sometimes dizzying world of the upper class. Now, these people, well, let's just say they didn't exactly welcome outsiders with open arms. They were known for living in tightly closed circles, suspicious of anyone who joined the game late. People often described them as having grown up listening to the same bell from a single tower, which is to say, they were tightly bound by shared upbringing, privilege, and probably a lot of family gossip. Even Lady Katharina, the Duchess and mother of Lord Buonpate, was ostracized once just because she came from Morena, Ipon explained. Adele blinked. "But isn't Lady Katharina a royal of this very nation?" "She is, my lady. But even so, she was still considered an outsider. These people will be skeptical of you. They'll want to know if you're truly, undeniably flesh and blood with the Duke." Ipon's voice grew firm. "That's why you must show them who you are, my lady." Adele nodded resolutely. "I will." A little while later, a group of noble ladies strolled gracefully along the seaside. Ah yes, the traditional noble lady walk, equal parts leisure, passive-aggressive comment, and social minefield. "This place is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?" One sighed dreamily. "By the way," another chimed in, eyes gleaming with mischief. "You're not very good at horse riding, are you, Lady Adele? I could have sworn I saw you earlier riding alongside your Brax." The way she said it made it sound like Adele had just committed a major fashion faux pas, like wearing last season's shoes to a royal ball. The group burst into soft, synchronized giggles, the kind that carried more venom than laughter. Adele, meanwhile, sighed inwardly. "Here we go." She gently stroked her chin, pretending to ponder seriously. "I must admit," she said with just the right touch of drama, "my horse and I, we haven't exactly synced up just yet." That earned more snickers. The sharks smelled blood, but Adele wasn't done. "Still, this experience has really opened my eyes. I now understand the deep inconvenience faced by people who can't even ride at all." She paused, smiled sweetly, and added, "I've already brought the matter up with my brother. Hopefully, this issue will soon be addressed through proper public policy." A polite, eloquent slap in the face. The noble ladies were stunned into silence, not easy for a group that survived on gossip and judgment. One of them, unwilling to accept defeat, asked, "Don't you feel awkward around your brother? I mean, after being apart for so long?" Adele replied calmly, "My brother has truly been kind to me. I don't feel awkward at all." She smiled softly. "I've always believed that blood is thicker than water." And with that, she very casually, completely by accident of course, adjusted her hand so the deep red ring Cesare had gifted her sparkled under the sunlight right in front of everyone. Predictably, one sharp-eyed lady caught it immediately. "Isn't that the ring that was on display in front of the Tibga Debo boutique?" "You're absolutely right," Adele smiled. "It seems you're quite well versed in current fashion trends." Another lady widened her eyes. "Wait, so you're the one who bought that blue diamond 2 weeks ago?" Adele tilted her head, pretending to ponder. "A blue diamond ring, you say? That does sound familiar." I suppose I'll have to check my jewelry box when I get home. The noble ladies collectively lost it. She doesn't even remember what she bought. The blonde one was sweating bullets. You must have quite a few jewels, huh? Adele beamed, unfazed. Just enough to decorate myself appropriately, I'd say. At that, the noble ladies fell completely silent, shut down with class. Suddenly, Lucia Ya clapped her hands. Ladies, thank you for being so welcoming to Lady Adele, but do let her catch her breath, won't you? The group forced a few tight-lipped smiles and backed off. Adele finally exhaled in relief. Good heavens, she muttered inwardly. This is exhausting. Later, while the group dispersed for their afternoon socializing, Lucia Ya invited Adele to take a walk along the beach, specifically to the lighthouse at the far end of the West Shore. Now, this sounded like the setup to a horror story, but Adele, ever the diplomat, agreed with a smile. Two of the girls shouted back to let others know. Then Lucia and Adele quietly made their way toward the lighthouse. They hadn't said a word for a while when Lucia finally broke the silence. You're quite impressive. You know the way you handled those girls earlier. Just what I'd expect from a member of House Buon-Pate. Adele replied coolly. It's nice to hear that from you. Lucrezia gave a sly smile and turned back. We're friends now, aren't we? Since you support me and my love for the Duke, I wanted to return the favor with a compliment. I hope you have a lovely time here. The two girls continued talking, unaware that someone had been watching them. I wish you well, Lucrezia said sweetly, narrowing her eyes into a smile. And with that, she shoved Adele hard, then walked away without another word. Adele stumbled back, scowling. That witch. What the hell does she think she's doing? She snapped. Just then, the figure in the shadows stepped forward. When Adele turned to look, she recognized him instantly. It was him, the one and only Lord Yuger. He fixed his violet eyes on her. For a split second, something flickered in them. Surprise? Regret? Whatever it was, he quickly masked it. Yuger glanced around warily and mumbled to himself. That little brat shouldn't be doing this. He looked back at Adele, who honestly had no idea what was going on. Then, with a sigh, he frowned and reached out a hand. Are you hurt? Adele blinked. Wait. What? This was not the behavior she'd expected from the man she'd heard was the kindest gentleman in all high society. Apparently, that title was up for debate. More importantly, that look she gave him at the ball had it meant nothing to him. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through her ankle. The knock against the chair leg yesterday and Lucrezia's little push today had clearly made it worse. Yuger noticed and looked genuinely concerned. Are you sure it's not a sprain? But Adele wasn't in the mood for kindness. You haven't even greeted me properly yet, she snapped. I'm a lady of House Buon-Pate, and you've been quite rude. Yuger raised an eyebrow. I never intended to start a conversation with you. Lucrezia Ya was the one who called me here. Adele cut in sharply. Then why did you wait until after she left to speak? That hardly justifies your behavior. Yuger shot back. So what? You want me to leave and abandon a young lady who's clearly injured? Adele replied flatly. That would be preferable, actually. Wasn't that your plan all along? She narrowed her eyes. Didn't you ask Lucrezia Ya to call you here? She let out a mocking laugh. How imaginative of you to come up with something like that. Yuger cut in. Please, drop the act. The Duke must have brought you here just to avoid marrying my sister, and you clearly agreed to help him with that plan. Now everyone's saying you and I are going to get married instead, but I refuse to be anyone's fiancé by convenience. Adele blinked. Well, she thought, I didn't expect him to say it out loud like that, but if he had the guts to stand up to Cesare, maybe he wasn't a complete fool. The air between them hung heavy with tension until Adele finally broke the silence. You seem to think very highly of yourself, my lord. Yuger froze, visibly stunned. An arranged marriage? It sounds ridiculous to me, and I'm guessing it does to you too. I came to for simply to reunite with my family after years apart. That's all. She gave him a sharp glance. But it seems you believe yourself far too noble to marry someone as provincial as me. That hit him square in the ego. His face flushed bright red. Adele straightened her posture, all poise and pride. But let me make something perfectly clear. I am a daughter of House Buon-Pate. There is no one in this entire land worthy of taking me as their wife. So please, she said with a cool smile, don't flatter yourself thinking I want this so-called union or that I need you. Yuger was practically glowing with embarrassment now. After what felt like forever, He finally spoke, voice low, hesitant. So, you won't marry me? Adele raised an eyebrow. Do I even have a choice? Can you defy the contract signed between our two houses? We enjoy the privileges passed down by our ancestors, but we must not leave behind absurd obligations like this for the next generation. Yuger looked down, cheeks still burning. After a long moment, he murmured, I'm sorry. I was short-sighted to assume you only saw me as a marriage prospect. Adele answered calmly. I understand why you thought that, but I can't believe you accused a lady based on rumors. He bowed deeply. You're right, that was my fault. Please, forgive me. Adele sighed. She really didn't feel like dragging this any longer. I accept your apology. There was an awkward pause, and then, suddenly, Yuger asked, voice soft, do you think we could start over? His face was still thoroughly red. Adele could see it all, but she nodded gently. May the goddess bless you, she said, a hint of warmth in her voice. My name is Adelaide Buonarpate. The young man smiled, a charming curve of his lips. And may the goddess bless you too, Lady Adele. I'm Estra de la Vale. Thank you for forgiving my rudeness. He hesitated a moment, then asked, if you don't mind, may I escort you back to the resort? And so, along the path bathed in golden sunlight, lined with swaying grass, Adele gently slipped her arm around his. I'm sorry for all the trouble, she said softly. Yuger replied, oh, not at all. It's an honor to assist you, my lady. Together, they strolled toward a quiet patch of land hidden away from the usual paths where one could see the entire city of Adu unfolding beneath the sky. It was a breathtaking view, a secret haven that few people even knew existed. In this city, people were known for being sincere with their desires, perhaps because Adu itself had a way of pulling truth from the soul. There are things people say about this place, Yuger said gently. Would you like to hear one? Adele, gazing off into the horizon, softly recited a line of poetry as if from a memory whispered long ago. If one awakens in the heart of Adu on a quiet morning, all their wishes will stir at once, blooming, aching, and flooding every corner of their being. Yuger turned to look at her, a spark of recognition in his eyes. You know Cavino? He asked, surprised. Adele's eyes widened. She hadn't expected such excitement from him. Most people know Dante or Peck, Yuger said, visibly delighted. But I've never met anyone else who knows Cavino. That's remarkable. Adele smiled. You must be quite the literary enthusiast then. She felt a quiet thrill of pride. All those hours stuck in the library, they were worth it after all. Do you have plans for the rest of the season? Yuger asked casually. Adele shook her head. No, I don't. I was thinking of joining a literary society. He offered immediately. Would you like to go together? I could escort you. Adele blinked, a bit taken aback. A literary society. But before long, the two had already fallen into step, arms linked, smiles lingering, heading back toward the resort, their conversation bubbling with shared excitement and mutual discovery. They didn't notice it, but from somewhere, someone was watching them. Watching him, the man now beaming like a peacock in full display under the warm glow of Adele's smile. And from a distant corridor, Cesare was grinding his teeth. That cunning fox, he muttered under his breath. Jealousy? Irritation? Something deeper? Whatever it was, the strange mess of emotions swirling inside him toward his not-so-little sister was becoming harder and harder to ignore. And now the real question loomed. Would Cesare be able to stick to his original plan? Or would his feelings throw everything into chaos? Stay tuned for the next episode.